Hello, everyone. This is the Bearcat Den. My name is Michael.
I'm Monique. And this is your weekly sports podcast covering NBA, WNBA, NFL, MLB, and any other sports leagues.
On this week's episode, we have Elijah Blain, Ticker sports writer.
I'm Elijah Blain, and I am a Knicks, Yankees, Giants, and Islanders fan. I am interested in basically every sport, and I've been writing for the Ticker for a year. And my primary sports are football and baseball.
Let's get to it. Some news around the NFL right now is the trade deadline, which happened on Halloween. And we had some trades happen. We have Urza Cleveland going to the Jaguars from the Vikings.
Right.
We have Leonard Williams, former Giant, to the Seahawks. We have Chase Young, who is headed to the 49ers. We have Montez Sweat, who is heading to the Bears. And we have Joshua Dobbs heading to the Vikings.
So I am a Giants fan, and so Leonard Williams going to the Seahawks, I think that helps the Seahawks a lot. And as a Giants fan, I'm super happy because we got our second round pick and a fifth. So basically, that we're in tank mode right now. If you saw last Sunday, basically we are 2-7 right now, and
Which is
Daniel
not really
Jones
good.
is hurt.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones tore his ACL, so
Unfortunately.
we're basically screwed. So at this point, draft capital helps. There's a lot of good quarterback prospects, so maybe one falls into the second round. So it's a win-win trade. I mean, Seahawks, they lost last Sunday, but they're trying to make a playoff push. So helping their defensive line. He helps in the run game. He eats blocks, and he gets pressures. It hurts Dexter Lawrence, but I think he'll manage. He's an all-pro player, perennial all-pro player. So, yeah, I think it's a good trade. I mean, obviously, the one everyone is talking about is Chase Young to the Niners. Right now, their goal is to just beat the Eagles. That's their goal. I'm not sure if Chase Young is the difference between the Eagles and the Niners. I feel like the Eagles, as much as I hate to say, because I hate the Eagles with a fiery passion, they're a tier above the 49ers right now. But I think Chase Young adds a kind of dynamic pass rushing ability that the 49ers already have in Bosa, and if you duplicate that, maybe it'll make Jalen Hurts panic a little bit and try to bomb it to A.J. Brown much quicker.
No, I completely agree with you on that Chase Young take. They needed a big move in the offseason. Not in the offseason, in the trade deadline, and I think this was the big move that they needed. Like you said before, he's paired up with his former Ohio State teammate, Nick Bosa, and they were a force to be reckoned with back in 2018?
2018, 2019.
Yeah, they were a force to be reckoned with back then. They're just going to pick up right where they left off, I feel like. About the Leonard Williams trade, I completely agree with you as well. It is a huge upgrade for the Seahawks, and we can also say that Seattle likes to get fleeced by New York teams, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
I think it was best for both sides to move on from Williams' camp and the Giants' camp to move on. Also, he was getting paid, I believe, it was over $40 million this year.
Something like that.
Something along those lines. So that creates a huge salary dump off for the
We
Giants.
need his contract this year, but after next year, he's
Yeah.
gone.
The future investment, completely agree. Also, you mentioned in the draft with draft capital getting the second round pick. Do you think if the Giants are high enough in the first round, let's say top 3, potentially 1, do you see them taking quarterback then, or do you see them waiting for the year after, I believe, when Archie Manning comes out? Is it the year after Archie comes out?
Archie Manning is coming out,
25?
I think, either 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So
And they need that now. Like, if you really want to be a contender, unless they're going to wait a long time to continue rebuilding, like, their team. Because right now they're just...
I mean, right now we have a solid foundation on defense. So we have Deontay Banks or Devontae Banks? Deontay Banks. We have Dexter Lawrence.
Xavier McKinney is also very good. Micah McFadden.
Xavier McKinney is going to leave. I have strong feelings. Okay. Xavier McKinney, he whiffs on tackles. And ever since the ATV incident last year, he's been saying some weird stuff. He said recently that the players weren't listening to the leaders on the team like him. And I don't think he's that much of a leader. So I think we're going to let him walk. Who else do we have? We have Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau is a fierce.
He's been improving. And yeah, so we have decent players. I think Shane's last draft was decent. Micah McFadden, Bobby Okereke. So right now we just have to get the offense right. We have an offensive-minded coach. I don't think we have a great offensive coordinator in Mike Kafka. The offensive line coach, he doesn't really... he is not great at his job. Bobby Johnson. So, like, right now, I think this is a play right now. I'm on tankathon.com right now. Arizona has the first pick. Carolina, maybe we'll talk about it later, but they traded their pick to the
Chicago.
Bears. So they have the second and third pick, the Bears. We're fourth right now. In this situation, it's Arizona would go with, they would either trade or go with a quarterback. Chicago, obviously, will probably go for a quarterback. Chicago would go for Marvin Harrison Jr. at third. So if you're Giants right now and you're on the outside looking in, I like Michael Penix a lot.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of his. J.J. McCarthy is another name getting thrown out there as QB3. I should probably establish that Caleb is 1, Caleb Williams, Drake May is number 2. So we would either look to trade down here or grab a tackle, Joe Alt, the tackle from Penn State. So
in my head, I believe that the Bears stay with Fields and they just surround the pieces around him. And I think that, well, obviously it's very early. We're about the midway point in the season, so we don't know what's going to happen. We still got 9 games left, I believe. But if it stays like this or something similar to it, I think that at 2, Chicago goes Harrison, which we agreed upon. And then third, I think they go tackle, being Joe Alt, try to surround Fields with the best possible line as they can. And those are like 2 set cornerstones because you have your complement to DJ Moore being Harrison, and then you protect that left side with Joe Alt at left tackle. Left guard is, I believe it's Tevin Jenkins, I think, right now.
Probably, that sounds right. But
build up that left side.
Right now, I feel like Justin Fields, I think they're just going to move on from him because you have first of all, I don't think Arizona is going to stay at 1. They're getting Kyler back. So I think they're going to finish with not a great record, but not a top 5 worst record. But I think that Justin Fields, there's just a lack of confidence. I think he can't develop more than he already has. And I feel like the Bears are probably going to just try to move on from him. Try to trade him for a mid-round pick. And just see what you have in Drake May or Caleb Williams. So in the event they get number 1 and 2, which which is highly likely.
It's possible.
Yeah. I feel like they would go for quarterback and HJ.
Mm-hmm. Do you? Well, I also think that they might trade out of the pick as well. If they are one, get more draft capital for this season. Well, this draft and next draft, whether it being Chicago if they want to keep Fields and Arizona if they want to keep Kyler. So I could see both of those teams doing that, and I could see a few teams trading up if they're not at one. But again, it's a mid-season point. We gotta see what happens the next 9 weeks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams in the 7 to 14 range that could possibly shift within like a week or two, and draft boards could get reordered and everything.
You want to talk about the Jets?
Just every time we had momentum. Like I said, just a self-inflicted wound. Was it his best game? Obviously not. Was it his worst game? No, I'm not going to say it was even close to his worst game, but I think the entire offense, obviously we all could have been better.
Are we going to talk about the Jets losing against the Chargers?
On Monday Night Football.
27-6. No touchdowns. 2 field goals.
You really.
And how long is a game? Like,
you really want
2
me
or
to
3
shoot myself in the
hours?
foot right now. You really
No,
want me to shoot
I'm
myself in the foot right now.
No.
Just
I'm
like
not
them.
attacking you, but I'm just, giving you the logistics of what happened.
Did you watch the Manning cast?
I did not watch Manicus because I was at the game, unfortunately.
You were at the game.
Unfortunately.
What section?
249B. Yeah.
Yeah. You were in it.
Yep.
Did you have a good time?
Look.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
No comment. But,
I mean, both of the New York offenses are unwatchable at this point.
Agree. 100%.
It's just so disappointing.
The thing that's really disappointing with the Jets, something that I thought they would fix right now, that would be fixed right now, would be the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive line.
It's
I'm trying to
in
find
shambles.
it. Yeah, it's a terrible offensive line.
I mean, the reason why it's so terrible is because everyone's getting injured.
Yeah.
We get very unlucky. Well, but it's a game of football. You gotta adjust to the guys that you have, and it's the next man up.
Is Becton hurt right now?
No, surprisingly, he's the healthiest O-lineman that we have.
How are you feeling about him?
I love him. Great guy. Met him a few times. He definitely has that chip on his shoulder that he wants to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Especially like in the off season with his weight and all that.
Right.
Like at one point, a rumor was that he was quote unquote 400 pounds, which he wasn't. But he slimmed down a lot, plays a lot better, and I could see him being the tackle of the franchise in the upcoming seasons. I feel like.
So he's playing at the highest level with the line right now.
I would like currently.
Yeah.
I think that he can play a little bit higher, but as of right now, for what he's doing, it's very good. The only reason why I'm saying he could go higher is because the rest of the O-line is banged up.
Right.
And obviously, consistency is key with an O-line.
As a Giants fan, I know that.
Yeah, additions or injuries doesn't help out anymore. But honestly, when fully healthy, I'm very comfortable with the O-line that we have. The reason why we can't move the ball, I believe, is because we're not healthy at the O-line position as a whole. Unfortunately, we had the guys go down to Achilles injuries.
Like really bad injuries.
Yeah, like it's very unfortunate. But,
you're on your third center against the Giants, right? Like fourth, because it was like a practice squad guy.
Yes, we were on our fourth center at the
time. That was like
he was a guard.
Yeah, it was a body bag game. That game.
Yeah.
Both teams were getting hurt. And here's my question. So, other than the Jets losing right now, the other main narrative is that Aaron Rodgers could be back before the season ends. Would you want him back?
No.
Behind this offensive line?
Depends on where we're at. If we're in the playoff picture, sure. If he's not, keep him out.
I say
And
no.
not even just the O-line, even the play calling. It's been abysmal. During that Chargers game, I wanted to shield my eyes from what I was watching because that's how bad it was. Offense couldn't get going. Zach Wilson still looks abysmal. Nathaniel Hackett should have been left in.
But he's only there because of Rodgers.
Yeah, but I think after this week in Vegas, he should be left in Vegas. I feel like.
Joey Bosa had 2.5 sacks against your team.
Yes, that was on the left. No, sorry, that was the right side because Khalil Mack was on the left. But
brutal.
Yeah, listen, you attack the weakest point of the line, and you're gonna get that production from them. But on the other hand, I think the left side's the strongest side.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not the left side. Whatever side Becton is on is the strongest side of the line.
But Zach Wilson isn't doing you guys any favors because he keeps holding on to the ball.
Yeah.
He's a one read guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, you have to be. But he keeps holding on to the ball. He doesn't see the field. He doesn't check down.
A little too long.
Yeah. So
if he holds it over 2.5 seconds, it's either a sack or it's either an incompletion, throwaway.
Yeah.
Under 2.5 seconds, fine. Glimpses at that, but I just feel like Hackett could call a game a lot better. We've seen him call games way better.
Yeah.
The Chiefs game being the main game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Buffalo game when Rodgers went down. And the Eagles game as well. It's pretty solid.
Right.
Solid offensive performances, but you put back-to-back weeks of abysmal offenses getting nowhere, it's embarrassing. Against two teams that aren't very good.
Look,
exactly.
Yeah. The game plan is to get the ball in your skill positions hands. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall.
Yeah, 100%. And, back to the Chargers, the Chargers came into this game as the worst passing offense in the league. And one thing you have to do during that game, regardless if you like the decision or not, throw the ball.
Right.
You have to throw the ball. They were playing single high safety whole game, and you want to attack that. You want to send the deep routes. But all we saw throughout that game was short routes, check downs, somewhat middle, throwing the ball over the middle. You can't do that. If you have single high safety, you got to throw it over the top, especially with Garrett Wilson on your team. Even Alan Lazard, honestly, because back in Green Bay, he was more dominant in the deep game, surprisingly. Even though I still think he has stones for hands.
He's been disappointing, definitely.
I mean, he's been decent.
Okay.
Better than I expected, because in Green Bay he dropped everything. But still, we're seeing that now, I feel like. But yeah.
I mean,
it's just a complete shit show.
You're under 500. One game under 500, right? It's not over. It's not over. But
I mean, with this offensive play calling, I think it is.
Yeah.
But listen, last week was the week to capitalize. Bills lost, Miami lost. If the Jets would have won that game, we would have been half a game out of the division. And that was a big game to win. And unfortunately, you have a week to prepare, and Hackett calls that nonsense. It's abysmal. It's embarrassing.
But if you look at the rest of the division, Dolphins are a wagon. Mm-hmm. They're going to win it, basically. Mm-hmm. Bills are struggling. Mm-hmm. Pats are unwatchable.
Yeah.
So,
very.
Oh my gosh.
I think you guys have a shot, honestly. I mean, it's not a division full of world beaters. If you look at the rest of the conference, AFC North is really good. Mm-hmm. AFC West, who is in the AFC West?
It's pretty mid.
Yeah.
Pretty mid.
Chiefs, Broncos.
Chargers and Raiders.
Mid. Chargers, suspects. Mid. Raiders. Antonio Pierce gets his first win as a head coach.
Yes.
Giants legend.
Good for him.
But they're going nowhere. AFC South always.
Jags, Colts, Houston, and
Jags are
Titans.
really good. Jags are good. I feel like Doug Peterson is a really good head coach, and I'm not surprised that they're a good team this year.
Nah, I really think that the Texans step it up. They've been very good on the DeMeco Ryans offensively. C.J. Stroud obviously looks like the best quarterback in the draft.
I'm going to touch on this briefly. I have some show notes, and in my show notes, I wrote, is Stroud the best rookie quarterback since Dan Marino?
Wow.
He might be.
I did not expect that question at all. That's rookie quarterback.
I can't really think of another.
Dan
I mean,
Marino.
Cam Newton was really good as a rookie.
Andrew Luck was also very good at the
Andrew
point.
Luck.
I think you could also put up Justin Herbert's rookie numbers, I feel like.
Right.
Considering he outperformed Andrew Luck, who is possibly one of the, I wouldn't say one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
But Justin Herbert was throwing to Keenan Allen.
And Andrew Luck was throwing to Marvin Harrison at the time. Or was it Reggie
the other one.
Wayne,
Reggie
Wayne,
Wayne,
right?
yeah.
He was throwing to Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
But, again, you could compare those two together to an extent.
Yeah.
But, again, at the same time had them in the same point of their careers, I'd say, I feel like. But, those are two guys that come off the top of my head easily.
The thing that gets me is how well he reads defenses.
Who,
That
Herbert?
was Stroud.
Oh, Stroud, yes.
Yeah, that was a big. So every time an an Ohio State quarterback, they say that Ryan Day basically just simplifies the offense. Before that was Urban Meyer for their quarterbacks. That's why Joe Burrow kind of escaped that by going to LSU. But basically, he reads the defenses pretty well. He looks like a seasoned vet out there. And he throws a lot of touchdowns with a team that's not that amazing, the talent around him. Tank Dell is good, but he's not super amazing.
No, I agree. I think he's pretty serviceable there too, but again, Stroud vouched for his name too, because he said he wanted him there. So I think that was the reason why they drafted him, and obviously it's panning out very well.
He has
for him so far.
14 touchdown to 1 interception ratio now.
Yeah, he's right now. I think I saw a stat before. He's on pace for like 4,800 yards, 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think, but I'm not sure.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's outrageous numbers from a rookie. Especially like right now, honestly, it's looking like you've been in the. With those numbers right now, with C.J. Stroud, just by the stats by itself, you wouldn't say that this kid's a rookie at all. You would say he's been in the league for a few years.
That reminds me of like 2014 Aaron Rodgers type numbers.
Yeah,
just
around that ballpark.
Insane efficiency in terms of touchdowns to interceptions. So, he looks really good. Panthers, I wrote in my notes that the Panthers are in hell.
Yeah, they really
are.
They really are. Back to Stroud for a minute. That was a number 2 overall pick. Jets, take some notes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the Panthers are. I feel like that originally, coming into the draft that year, they wanted Stroud, but obviously ownership overrides everybody. And
they're an
they
SEC country.
Yeah, and they wanted Young, which is looking like not so great of the first pick. I think after that, like my decision, I think Stroud should have been first before the draft happened, and it really solidified that spot considering his victory over Bama in the championship game, and he just was lights out, Stroud.
Right.
I've never, insane, I'm at a loss for words for that game, for all things considering. Even though, wasn't he hurt too during that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, with what, rib injury or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. It was very gutsy performance.
It was very gutsy, and you're still playing at that high level with an injury that is significant to your gameplay. It's insane. You know what that reminds me of, honestly? That's like the college version of Matthew Stafford getting hurt in his rookie year and throwing the touchdown to win the game. Definitely. I think that there's still the Panthers alone are a team that is going to struggle a little bit, but a few more. I'll give them like another 2 years, maybe a year or two to get everything into play. In order to be in playoff talks, I feel like.
I think they got calls for Brian Burns. Mm-hmm. They said no, we're not going to trade him.
Yeah.
So
that's
they're not in full tank mode. But,
no way.
It's not looking good right now.
I mean, tank mode, possibly rebuild mode.
Rebuild mode. Yeah.
They're still in that, but the thing is that I don't think they're, as you said, they're not completely in it, because if so, they would just trade everybody away.
Right.
But I feel like that's also a team to watch through in the next few seasons, considering like Thielen is 30 something, and he's coming towards the end of his career, unfortunately, but he's still playing at a high level this season. They're gonna need a true number one when it comes down the line, which I can see them going in the draft. O-line situation is they had their tackle and Ike Ekwonu, Taylor Moton on the right side, but I'm not sure how long Moton would stay for. They just got to build up that middle, and their run game is
Yeah.
Miles Sanders.
Not Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, no way. I mean, I think I'm taking Juba Hubbard over Miles Sanders. I think Sanders is gone in after next year.
Yeah.
I feel like, and the only reason why I say next year is because of the contract situation.
Right.
There. But that's something for next season.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to this week's episode.
Make sure you tune in next week for more. Bye.
Later.